All right, man. UConn
Product,
football. UConn.
production values, the production values. It's just
There we
too
go. I
much.
got a UConn shirt on. Now you know we're doing good. Pulled it out of the archives. It's
Yes,
out of the archives there.
that's making a statement right there.
Yep.
That's
Out
making
of
a
the
statement right
archives.
there. You're proud. You're proud.
I can wear
Wow.
it without getting teased.
Yeah, without getting teased for sure. And wow, I can't even believe this. We're a big time favorite in this one. We're a big time favorite. We have a win probability of 86%.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was possible. I can't wait to check and see what ESPN has our line at
It must be
against
at least
Temple.
15. Is
Yeah, if it's 86%, I mean we haven't. I mean Merrimack was high, but um, this is. I mean this is an AAC school, so I would assume I would not have expected it to be that high at all. But let me see what we're at here. Wow, 17 and a half. Huh. We're minus 17 and a half.
you might have to go and look and see the last time that we were that big of
Favorite. It was probably against Rhode Island or something. We played Rhode Island last year, or because I know the big upset we had was against Rice was last year, but I know we got beat by. I think we got beat by a couple FCS schools last year. I got to check, but statistically, I mean, statistically, it's pretty. Wow, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. We have three running backs. Darrell Robinson, 369 yards. He's averaging 8.6 yards a carry. Mel Brown, 305 yards, averaging 5.5 yards a carry. And Cam Edwards, 280 yards, 5.7 yards a carry. And Cam Edwards is the guy. And they have 1,200 rushing yards on the year. My senior year, Terry Cully broke the freshman rushing record with over 1,200 yards, and I believe he played in 10 games. So
who had it
Darrell,
before? Who
it
had
was
it?
Tory, it was Tory Taylor.
Tory Taylor. Oh, okay, yeah, from his
Yeah,
freshman year.
yeah, Tory Taylor before. So
Or
it's going to
something.
be interesting to see. I just well, I am a member of Store Central now. So I'm going to go on Store Central and see if it has any news on Mr. Evers, if he is out this week for sure. The UConn Temple pod. I want to throw that out the window. Who is hosting their podcast? I don't like that. I got a Dave, I got a email from Believe, BLEAV,
Yeah.
wanting to add our podcast to their channel.
With the Husky Huddle?
And they would pay us. Yes. Husky Huddle and Husky Talk. Yes. With your following. I just talked to them and I'm waiting to see what they offer. But yeah, have you heard of them? BLEAV? They said that they do They do shows all over.
Don't know much about them.
Yeah, they do shows all over the country, and they're looking to add a show with a following. So they watched ours, and they like both. So I don't know what I just have to see what they pay and everything. But I'm looking at I can't see.
Get me on the call. So
No,
but anyway,
of course I'll get you on the call, Dave. Come on.
uh,
I'm not that dumb. Well, actually, I am that dumb. I took a call with everyone in power at UConn alone. So yes, I am that dumb.
let me get some UConn up. I just want to pull up some of this stuff here for the you're so
I can't find if Evers is. Well, maybe I'll check the forums. I'm gonna check the Boneyard. Well, I haven't been in the Boneyard in 20 years.
I don't even think Boneyard even is a thing anymore.
It is. It's on Store Central. It's on.
The Boneyard. Wait, I thought Boneyard used to be like Rivals.com or something.
It was. That's what it used to be. Yeah, it used to be that.
So they moved it to Store Central.
Yeah, it's on Store Central now, but it's free, I believe. The game's on CBS. I can't get an injury report. Do you know how frustrating that is?
I don't think in college you have to give an injury report.
You do have to.
You do? I don't think you do.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
No,
you have to say if someone's questionable or not.
No, you don't. Only in the pros. Absolutely not.
I think you're wrong.
Absolutely not. You do not.
You don't have to say if someone's questionable, doubtful, all that. Out.
Nope.
None of that.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. I wouldn't answer that if I was the coach either. If I didn't have to.
No, I know. It's just frustrating.
So Temple got smacked by Oklahoma, smacked by Navy.
Yeah, they've been awful.
Played Coastal tough. Coastal had been good. I didn't know how they were this year, but Coastal has one loss.
Okay.
They played them tough. They lost though, but they played them tough.
Yeah.
They beat Utah State.
They lost to Navy and they beat Utah State. They
by
lost
Army.
to
Utah State is not good, I guess, this year.
But people are saying Army and Navy could win the AAC. They said both of them.
Yeah, they're both very good this year. Utah State, who they Temple beat, played Utah fairly tough.
Utah State's going into the Pac-12. So
Are they really?
Yeah. Yeah, Utah State just accepted the invite to go in there.
Army is great this year.
Yeah, Army Navy is they're both doing very well. I
wonder if the fact that they have people that are going to be in their program for the whole entire time, not transferring out, and they could develop them. I wonder if that's going to be an advantage.
Well, that's what they said. They said they're doing it the right way, that they don't have NIL. They develop kids, and kids are coming there and buying in for the right reasons. It's not about the money. It's not about being on TV every week. It's not about winning a national championship. It's about they have a higher calling. But
right.
I just can't get matchup history with Temple. I just want to know if he's playing.
Army's going to go possibly undefeated until they beat Notre Dame, until they play Notre Dame.
No, in the Memphis isn't UNLV UNLV's at Mountain West.
No, Army this is all they have left, so they're undefeated right now. Army has Tulsa, they'll win that game. UAB, East Carolina, Air Force, that'll be a tough game. North Texas. And North Texas is decently good. And then Notre Dame, who's obviously very good. UTSA, and then the Army-Navy game. Could you imagine if Army went undefeated or Navy went – what's Navy?
Well, that's what they're arguing about right now. The Big Ten
Navy
and in the
Navy
SEC.
beat Memphis.
Yeah, I know. The Big Ten and the SEC are arguing right now that they should receive more guaranteed playoff spots because the Big Ten now has 18 teams, I think, and the SEC's at 16. So I think they want like 3 or 4 spots each. And then
Army or Navy, whoever wins their game, and if that team pulls
that
an
doesn't
upset,
count. That doesn't count.
for what?
So Army, I just read this. It was on ESPN. Because the Army Navy game falls as late as it does, it doesn't count towards winning the conference or determining who goes to what bowl.
Okay. So basically,
which is very unusual.
if they all win, if both of them win out, and both somehow beat Notre Dame, they could both be undefeated when they make those decisions.
They could be undefeated going into Army Navy. I don't know if that's ever happened. Like that's pretty absurd.
When was the last time? I don't know. We're getting off topic here, but I wonder when the last time that was happening. The last time they would have to
like
be
1942, maybe, where
played where they were undefeated. Come on, AI. 1945.
See, I was right.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Well, I mean,
they still would have to beat Notre Dame in order to make that happen.
But they're going to win.
Is Notre Dame that good? Is Notre Dame that good?
Notre Dame has nothing to do with it. If they win the American, they get a playoff spot. I'm pretty sure.
Well, okay, but both of them. Oh, okay. So, but they don't play each other the last game, so they both could be undefeated in the AAC.
They both could be undefeated in the AAC in the game against each other, according to ESPN, because of the date. It's not going to count towards the winner of the conference.
So then they could both end up undefeated, is my point.
Exactly. Yes. Well, no, they won't be undefeated. They'll be undefeated in the conference. Yes.
Yes.
If they win out.
But they could be undefeated if they beat Notre Dame.
No, if they beat Notre Dame, yes.
Now, obviously, someone's going to win the game between them. One team won't be. But yes.
But looking at the conference,
could they make a playoff? Could Army or Navy be in a playoff if they won
yes.
the table?
Yes. If one of them
does AAC get an automatic spot?
Yeah, the group of 5, I believe, the American, the Mountain West. I think it's the 2 highest ranked group of 5 teams get spots.
Wow.
It's something crazy like that. So it would be the Mountain West, the American, the MAC, the Sun Belt, Conference USA, and I think it's the 2 highest ranked teams from the article that I read. Maybe it's more than that because they're trying to negotiate for more spots for the Big Ten and the SEC. They think that they should be guaranteed more spots because they have more teams and better competition.
Got it. Interesting.
And the Big 12, I think, is only guaranteed 1 or 2. So I'm not. I don't even think the Pac-4 is guaranteed anything this year. Right. So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to shake out. I'm going to see if I can take a look at what the experts are predicting. You know, the talking heads that are beyond, they're smarter than us. Well, maybe smarter than you, but not smarter than me.
Definitely not smarter than me. What's going on, Sean? How you doing, man?
Oh, he is awesome.
What's going on, guys? We fired up?
You are fired up for tomorrow.
Fired up. Let's go.
I'm going tomorrow, Coach Schuman. I told you. I'm in Mike Burton's box.
Oh, you're in the box. You're in the box.
I mean, you really are big time, Cully. You are. You know.
Moving on.
It's all because of Sean.
Should we play the Jeffersons theme in the background?
Yeah, moving on up. Moving on up. That's what I said last night. Making a splash. I love it.
It's all because of Sean and Procyon Partners. Sean believed in me.
You are connecting people. You are connecting.
Do your plug for Procyon Partners. Go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
They specialize in wealth management, employee benefits, and retirement planning.
Let's go.
And President Sean Rabinowitz provides exceptional results for his clients. And he's going to get me a Tesla.
You know what's cool, Cully, is I'm on with Ronell at 1 p.m. and trying to find a way to do business together.
Yes.
And so I think that's what's cool about what you're doing is you're connecting people back to the university, but you're connecting the whole ecosystem. And and that's what I think is really cool. And we got a team that's winning, right? Winning ball games. And I think that makes it fun as well, man. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow catching up with you and everybody else. So it's gonna be a great time. I think they're I think it's gonna be a hell of a game too. I think they're gonna be challenged tomorrow.
Well, that's what Dave and I were saying. That
I think we're much better.
I think we're better, but I think they're going to be challenged.
We're 17 points
better than Buffalo.
Yeah.
I think they're better than Buffalo.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're better than Buffalo too. But my question again, Sean, I was looking all over. I can't find if Evers is out, the quarterback.
I don't think they've released it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've looked on the website. I signed up for Store Central, and I can't find any information.
There probably hasn't been a call yet. I mean, Mora said it's up. It's up to the docs, right?
Oh, he did say that. Okay.
Yeah, he said it. He said it's up. I think in his press conference earlier this week, he got asked that, and I think they said it was up to the physicians. And look, if I'm him, he's given the answer, right? He's given an answer, and it's more than likely going to be a game time decision. So
was he? Do you know for sure? Was he diagnosed with a concussion?
He didn't say that. Did not come up. Yeah,
okay.
He didn't. I don't know that question got asked. I don't remember, but because I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I know he got asked. Will he play this week? And he said, kind of said that was a question.
Yeah.
But I think if he was diagnosed with a concussion, I would assume that he would not be playing.
No, I think he'd be out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I watched it. It didn't look like he got hit particularly hard in the head. Like I didn't see, everyone thought he got kneed in the head.
He has one already. That he's had one earlier in the year.
Yeah, I know.
It's one of those things that
you wouldn't want to risk it against Temple.
Well, I'm just saying that the first few weeks after you get one, you're probably most vulnerable. As time goes on,
the second impact syndrome.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's always hard to tell when you're watching film, right? Like I just give you an example. I was playing hoops last week, and I don't even know how I did it, but I destroyed a disc in my neck. I can't even move my neck right now. I don't even know how I did it. Right. So it's like when you're doing, like when you're out on the field, I mean, sometimes we think it's little shit and, there's no contact, but it's just, the way that the contact occurs, it may not look like violent or extreme, but shit just happens. So, he's a difference maker, man. I mean,
he is.
And thank God they figured out how to use him correctly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You run a game plan. Clearly, they game plan behind him, and it worked. Or it's working, right?
And they were able to adjust when he was out.
Yeah, and you said give the ball to Cam, right? We talked about that. Just feed him, give him the rock. I think the offensive defensive lines are getting more pressure, and they're getting up the field. And look, sometimes you just gotta I think I forgot who we were on originally, and someone said, hey, it's you got a bunch of guys with the transfer portal that are coming together for the first time, right?
60 new players. Yep.
60 new players, right? And whether we like it, I mean, I think you gotta gel a lot quicker now because of the way the game works, right? Like you don't have the option to wait 4 games to gel.
Right.
But I think I mean, maybe that was some of it. You're also, I mean, you played 2 very good teams early on, Duke and Maryland. So
The only
And
game they played
Duke could
poorly
win the
in was Maryland.
ACC. Duke is undefeated.
Maryland's the only game they played poorly in. That's the only game.
yeah, I think you're right.
Since Maryland, they have not played. Duke, they played poorly a little bit early on, but the interception changed everything.
They came back against Duke. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think since that very first game, they played overall very well.
Yeah, they've been doing very well, and just
the intensity
looking,
is there. The intensity is there. You
can see it. Yes,
yeah.
yes, and you can see it in the players. The NIL has clearly paid off and made a difference. When you look at Skylar Bell, when you look at TJ Sheffield, when you look at Darrell Robinson, who came from Charlotte, and Cam Edwards, the guys they got on defense, without NIL, they don't exist.
I mean, there's a whole kind of different take, and if you take NIL off the board on intensity and how you play the game, but at the end of the day, right, like it's kind of like a job, right? If you're paid to do a job, right, versus it being a hobby, you're going to work a little harder, right? Because you got to earn your keep. So, in that sense, I understand where the NIL motivations come from, but I mean, if you're going to put dollars on the table, you got to perform, right? It's pay to play. It's pay for performance almost. I mean, I know you're getting people there, but to keep that contract, clearly you got to have some positive output as a player. So, hopefully that also holds people accountable.
And Mike had said that about Coach Mora early on when his first team meeting. He said, some of you guys are going to get money. Some of you guys aren't. If you perform, you have the chance to get money. If you don't, you won't. So, I mean, he put it out there. He didn't, try to skirt the issue. He went directly head on and told the guys, these are the guys who are getting paid. This is why. They're going to perform. If they don't perform, next year they won't get money. Somebody else has a chance to get money.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, I've been in sales my whole career, right? 23 years almost, right? 23 years. That's, some make money, some don't, right?
Yeah.
Like it's either you can do it or you can't. There's always the question of whether that's appropriate for the college game, right? And I think there's a whole separate argument, but where we are right now, but I also think there's a little bit undervalue on offensive, defensive linemen, right? Like, I mean, we're paying a lot of guys for skill positions, but
correct.
You can't forget what guys like you did, to open up holes and to protect guys. So I think, at some point that has to come into play too.
Just get the big guys an endless buffet.
Endless buffet. That's what we're going to pay us. We're going to pay us in food.
Endless buffet, Steve.
Isn't that what the South Dining Hall is? Isn't that,
no, there's no closing time for them. They can go back and make themselves a sandwich whenever they want. There is no closing time.
Yeah, like the quarterback gets $1 million. We just get unlimited food. That's nice. I like that.
I honestly, the one thing I will say is I can't wait till we have a kid on the team showing up in a Lambo, driving around stores in a Lambo, right? Like what they have down at Alabama. Because the quarterback from Georgia, he's driving a Lambo around campus. I mean,
I know, and
awesome.
Shador Sanders has a Rolls Royce. He's driving around a Rolls Royce.
Like I get him, but like, if you're who's advising these kids, right? Like, that you're 19, 20 years old and you're spending $250,000 on a Lambo, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I would argue the value of a college education is needed and warranted if you're buying a Lambo, right? At 19, 20, just like, I mean, these guys are getting paid money. I get it. They're not getting paid tens of millions, maybe the quarterback from Georgia is getting $1 million, right?
Some of them are,
but here today, gone tomorrow, right? It's no different than NBA or NFL, right? Like if you're spending, if you're getting your first contract as your NIL and you get $1 million, you go out and buy a Lambo, right?
You're nuts. Yeah.
You're really not getting great advice. So it's
No.
it's interesting to see, like, Shedeur Sanders, I get it.
Some of them are getting a Lambo as part of their package.
Well, yeah, right. Well, if that's the case, then different story. But
definitely the running back from Texas, Bijan Robinson did. Yeah. I know that.
Sean, did you see the UNLV situation with the quarterback with Matthew Sluka leaving the team?
I mean,
that's unbelievable to me.
I mean, I don't know that I have enough detail, right? And enough.
Well, he didn't have a written contract, which I think is the first mistake. I don't know how, like, if I say, Sean, I'm gonna give you $300,000 and you just say, okay, and just show up, like, you got to protect yourself.
Right.
You can't take someone's word.
And like now, like you have and it's one thing if you don't have a written contract and someone else says, well, yeah, we never did that. We never, like they're saying we never had that, right? So now this kid looks like an asshole, right?
Yeah, he does. Like, he looks like an idiot.
He looks like an asshole because, like, all right, well, they told me this. I mean, my gut tells me that someone probably did make a commitment to him, for him to go from Holy Cross out to UNLV, right? And he was a good player. I mean, Holy Cross pretty well.
He led him to the FCS championship. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to
unbelievable.
You have to think that there's something there. It's just it's just you got a long career, right? And you have to think about the reaction to any decision that you make, right? And he might have reason for doing that, but his reputation's now tarnished. Right.
Well, and now he's going to be a 6-year player.
I'm not sure if that's true, that his reputation is tarnished. I think he made it. I think UNLV is really more tarnished than he is. I mean, they just replaced him with another guy that won them the game anyway, so it didn't even matter for them.
Right.
But the assistant coach was the one that promised the $300,000 or whatever, but it was never signed. There was no written contract, and the kid got $3,000, and after 4 games walked. But he's a 5th year. He graduated on time. This was his 5th year. You're going to redshirt and now play a 6th year. I just don't see the point in doing that.
Well, and also
that to me seems crazy.
I asked the question, who's advising these kids, right?
He has an agent.
And that agent should get fired. Why would if you're an agent, why wouldn't and most agents are attorneys, why are you setting those fireworks off behind me? That's great. But most agents are attorneys, contract, right? Like, how do you miss that, right?
100%. 100%. The agent should be fired for sending that kid there without anything on paper, without a contract. And, that is obviously one of the most derelict, irresponsible things to do to that kid and his family. And the agent should lose his license for that. Dave, would you ever do that?
There is no agent license for NIL. So
no,
you have to understand is that
that's true. You're right. There isn't.
It's not like the NFL where you have to get certified. There's no agent license. Now the states state to state. So Massachusetts may have, or Las Vegas may have, where you have to get a license from them to practice as an agent. So you could lose that. But you could lose that. But as far as with the NCAA or anything, there's nothing there. So
anyone can represent these kids.
Anyone can represent anybody for anything.
Wow. That's
you
scary.
may just have to follow with your state that you're representing people.
Right.
Depending on the state. Some states have it where you have to file, some do not. But
That's scary.
But whether you have a license or not, I mean, that could be an errors and omissions claim, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you represented to somebody that you had a contract for them, and that contract never came, that's a problem for you as an agent. But I think we're going to see more of this stuff, right? You saw
Well,
that
yeah.
happen in Florida, right? The quarterback from Florida didn't end up coming because
Yep.
somebody offered him 10 million, and
Jaden Rashada, yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
when they went to sign a contract, it mysteriously came off the board, and he's like, "Well, I'm not coming," right? Like,
Yes.
again, if like you can hate kids for getting into the money and making it a business, but I mean that's what it's become. It's become a business. If part of the commitment is $10 million that you're making and you don't show up, at the time of signing, I don't know how you can expect kids to do that. But I mean, you're just going to create this revolving door, right? Is bigger, better deal. And I'm just because like they're not signing contracts, right? Like, are they signing commitments?
Yeah, they are signing contracts. That's what Mike said. Mike said each player, they sit down with them, they make sure that they have representation of their own. They have a contract that lays out all the stipulations for the requirements of the NIL deal. Like for UCONN, if you donate to bleedingblueforgood.org,
Yeah.
you have to do charity work. That's part of the contract. They pay you, but you're required to go to children's hospitals or make appearances at schools. They have you do charity work.
But is it multi-year contracts? Is my question.
No, it's 1 year. It's
So
1
that, yeah,
that's what I asked.
so that's kind of the issue that I have with it, right?
Yeah.
Is like you think about the NFL, right? And you have multi-year contracts, right? Like, if you're only able and you're only signing kids to 1 year contract, look, if they, I mean, it
It's
works both
scary.
ways, but it works both ways, right? You don't
Yeah.
perform, you don't get paid. If you do perform, now you got your hand out for more, right?
That's exactly what Mike said. Mike said that after this week, going into the bye week, he's going to sit down with Coach Mora and go through next year, what next year's going to look like, to keep the players that they have, what they're going to be expecting, and then to bring in new players from the transfer portal and through recruiting. And that's why he was saying, he's like, we're going to have to double our efforts to keep the guys we have.
Yeah.
And get new talent.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I mean, it's a full-time business, I would think.
It is. It
right?
is.
Like you almost need a GM, like managing.
And a lot
these
of schools
salaries.
do now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, remember Mike said this too. They have never missed a payment on a kid. They paid every kid that they promised, and they've never missed a payment. And I thought that was something remarkable as well, that he said that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the difference. I have no idea how all these other places do it or don't do it, but I think that's the biggest thing, that you have to honor whatever commitment you have, whatever you signed with them, no matter what the situation is. But you could probably put whatever stipulation you want in these deals, because it's not like there's a template.
There's no regulation, right?
The NFL has a template, right? So there's certain things you have to have in it. There's no template. Well, I'm sure there's templates that people have created, but there's no template from the NCAA. So you could create whatever you want in that contract. So
that would be like if you, as an agent, wanted to take more than 3%, which is the NFL commission. Like you can put in there, I'm taking 5%.
Guys are taking 20%. I know guys that are taking
20%.
Yeah, maybe more. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you're not, and it's in any business, man, right? Like you have predators, you have scum in any business that, and look, I mean, maybe if you're that good.
Well, I'll tell you where it comes from. 20%. So in the NFL, the contracts, as I was an agent for 6 years, Sean. So the contract is a max of 3% on the NFL contract. Okay.
Correct.
So that's a max of 3% the agent can get. But on marketing contracts.
Oh, marketing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Which is what this would really fall under. Okay. You can get
Oh, that's right.
you could take whatever you want on that. So most guys take between 20 and 30%.
Got it. Okay, marketing.
Because
Yeah,
they're
okay.
getting the deals for those guys.
Right.
That's the reasoning why. Because
They're
they don't make
sourcing the
much
deals.
money.
Yeah.
They don't make much money. I mean, look, you're signing $100 million contract. The guys who are signing $100 million contracts, those guys are only getting like 1.5% or 1% of that. So you're getting paid well on that. But the majority of their money, if they have a guy that's bankable, is going to be from marketing dollars, like sponsorships. They're going to make agents going to make a lot more money from that than they are from their NFL contract, even on guys that sign, the biggest agents that might sign $100 million deal. 1% is $1 million, which sounds like a lot of money, but what they're putting into it is a lot. They'll get more money if they get, the guy $50 million in a marketing deal. Maybe, a big time guy, they're not taking 20%. Maybe they're taking 10 to 15%. But they'll get much more paid.
Well, no, that makes sense. Now that you explain it, like when you talk about a marketing deal versus
more of a marketing deal. That if you think about NIL as more of a now they should change it so it's not like that. I think that it should be more like the NFL.
Right.
And I don't know what level of regulation it should be. Sometimes too much is too much, but there should be something, and then there should be. Then that you should also have the mark. So you have the contract for coming to the school, which would make them to play there or with the NIL group. And then you might have marketing, quote unquote, deals. That might be a higher percentage no matter what.
Yeah.
But you would get your NIL deal as like some smaller percentage. So the player gets more of that money.
I would think that makes sense, right? Because it's like no different than you're dealing with like NFL teams. Like you almost have a captive audience, right? Like you're negotiating with one person versus like if you're getting marketing deals, you got to go out and source those, right? And like there's significant more cost on the agent side to go out and source those for your players.
It's time.
Yeah, it's time.
Dave, what do you think's going to happen with the TV money? Now that's going to go through where the players will get a piece of the television revenue, allegedly $22 million a year is the max they can get.
What does that come through the conferences?
Yeah, it's going to go from the conferences. Yes. The players will be paid a portion of the television revenue, and the max revenue is $22 million per conference. Per team,
it's whatever gets allocated to them because they don't have a representative in this negotiation. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
They don't have a representative, so it's going to be.
They get what they get.
Try and make it some level of. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they don't have a rep. They're not represented themselves in this negotiation.
Union. They need a union.
If you had a union, players union in the NFL, right? You would have.
Yeah.
Who is it now? Is it
DeMaurice Smith?
DeMaurice Smith, yes. DeMaurice Smith, you would have negotiating, what percentage
what the split is, yeah.
They need the longshoresman union boss negotiating.
Well, it was they wanted 77% pay raise, but they ended up getting 60% or something?
62,
so
they need him, boy. They should hire him immediately.
I'm gonna fucking cripple him, he said.
There will be no football. There will be no
There'll
football.
be no college football if I'm involved.
You would see people come to the table even faster than it would if you would cripple the whole economy.
It got settled that thing you're talking about
temporarily, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Pending,
that was a big deal. That was a pretty big deal.
But you're right, Sean. It's funny because if that guy was hired to do the players, he threatened to basically shut down the whole world's economy. Yeah. And people were like, "Oh yeah, no big deal." But if you threaten to shut down college football, people might lose their minds.
Yeah,
they would be like, "Strike the deal immediately."
Yeah, right. Can you imagine like that guy from Jersey goes down to Alabama and Georgia? Oh God, I'd pay that. Hey guys, I got to jump. I got to get ready for my call with Ronell. But good speaking with you. Cully,
thanks for jumping on.
I'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Yes, can't wait.
See you later.
Can't wait.
Catch you later.
Take care. He's my man. He's my favorite.
That's funny. That's so funny. That's so funny. I could see that. I could see that. You can imagine him going down there. People would be like, "No, don't take our football." Well, what about food? We don't need to eat. We don't need to eat. We just need football, especially in the South.
That's all they care about.
Especially in the South. Could you imagine you took it away in Alabama or Georgia? Oh man, or Texas? Oh man.
They'd go nuts. They'd go nuts. I was looking at Temple. They're very pedestrian, I would say, statistically. Yeah. Their quarterback, Evan Simon, 53 of 82 for 680 yards, completion percentage 64.6%. He's got 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he's been sacked 10 times. He has a rating of 165.6, which I guess is good. I mean, that's a pretty good rating. And they play another quarterback, Forrest Brock, who has 405 yards passing, 59% completion percentage, and 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. But their running game is absolutely atrocious. Their top running back is Antwain Littleton, 42 carries, 151 yards on the year. And they have 408 rushing yards overall. That is that's not very good. That's not very good at all. And how many games they've played? I think they are 1-4 or whatever. Yeah, 1-4. And we're 3-2. So I mean, our statistics, like I said, our statistics are much. I mean, Joe Figiano. I got to say that right. Joe D taught me how to say that. He has 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's completing 58% of his passes. He's 33 of 57 on the year. Evers is 51% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But it's the running game that really stands out, because with 1,200 yards rushing in 5 games, that's excellent. And then you have Skylar Bell with the 21 receptions, 500 yards. He's averaging 23.8 yards a catch, 4 touchdowns. And then Sheffield with the 15 catches, 119 yards. He only averages 8 yards a catch, and he's got 1 touchdown. So it will be interesting to see. And then I know Dave Teggart is the honorary captain. I asked Coach B if I could be the honorary captain. I got a no there, but maybe next week. And then defensively, who's
the honorary captain? The kicker?
David Teggart is the one who kicked them to I believe the Fiesta Bowl in 2010, when they beat West Virginia, I think it was. He had a kick in the rain. I remember that it was a 43-yarder. It was in the rain and the mud, and it was the kick that won the Big East for them and sent them to the Fiesta Bowl. He's the honorary captain.
Oh wow, that's great.
So I didn't get to be the honorary captain, even though I requested it. It was shot down. So I'll get my honorary captainship sometime.
Why do they hate on you so much?
I don't know. I want to be up in the building. They don't have me listed. They have all the NFL Europe guys listed for professional players. I don't know.
Did you play in NFL Europe?
I did for 2 years. I am not listed. I am not listed.
Why is that?
I don't know. I have to make my request. I have to make my complaint to Coach B. I want my name on a plaque like everyone else. I had Danny Lansana on last night.
I listened to it actually.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. He's gonna come on hopefully next week I think next week, because it's the bye week, maybe we can do like a year in review so far. If we end up hopefully 4-2, we're almost there. We're almost there to the bowl game, and then it's looking at what bowl we would go to. I looked at some bowl projections, and they had us playing against Georgia Southern, a couple bowls. So it's going to be interesting to see. Even if we do win 8 games, if we do win 9 games, I mean, with the strength of schedule, where do they send us? That's going to be interesting to see. I hope we get, because traditionally, we haven't traveled. We haven't traveled great. So I think that we would travel pretty well, and I hope we would go somewhere decent down south and not get like one of the December 15th bowl games, something like that. But as long as we have it, and then, have an idea of what we're going to need for next year, I think, because it's so crazy, because I told you I'm trying to help Lenny's kid Brock with recruiting.
Right.
Brock wants Yale and Penn very bad, and I know
he's been killing it.
He has. I know the quarterback coach at Yale. I love Dan Hunt. He was the offensive coordinator at Colgate when I was there. I know him pretty well. And then I'm sorry, Lehigh. He's the quarterback coach at Lehigh, which Brock does not want. But Lehigh had liked him. I reached out to Tony Reno at Yale. He was at Harvard. We knew him from Harvard. And then I reached out to Hank Hughes at Penn. Hank Hughes was the defensive coordinator and defensive line coach at UConn.
Right.
When I was there, and he's at Penn. So I just think it's so tough, because the kid's got a 33 ACT. He didn't play much last year. And I think if he Yale, Princeton, Harvard, those are his dream schools. Take a shot, apply early action. If you get in, you get in. If you don't, we can find him a prep school and have him PG. That's just the toughest part of recruiting, because the early signing date, it's December, whatever, 12th or so. I talked to Lenny, and Lenny was like, can we get an official visit somewhere? So I'm just trying to see if they would bring him in, if he does say he's considering prep school. Maybe they'll bring him in on an official, because everyone's pretty much done, right? I mean, most places.
Ivy League is probably not all completely finished.
Right.
Most of FCS is done, other than maybe a Patriot League, a few spots.
Lehigh.
Or a guy changes his mind, or that kind of a deal. So
Lehigh. I mean, Lehigh likes him, and I would love.
I think Lehigh. Well, yeah. If it's a scholar, I think if it's a scholarship opportunity, but
he doesn't. His father just says he doesn't particularly care. He just doesn't like Colgate and Lehigh. They run the ball, especially Colgate, and those are schools that he have openings and would recruit him, but he does not want to go there.
I gotta show you. So we got a cool comment. Colorado versus UConn. Imagine in the bowl game. Imagine that, a bowl game set up, Colorado versus UConn.
I would love to see it. I would love to see that. I want to see Mora and Dion. Dion with the beard. And Shador pulling up with the Rolls Royce.
That would be great.
I would go to that. We would draw for that one. I wonder where they'd send us. I just hope it's they don't send us to like the one that used to be on the blue turf, the Humanitarian Bowl in Idaho, something like that. There's so many bowl games now. And I went when UConn played Buffalo in the International Bowl in Toronto, and it was awesome. It was at the Rogers Center, and we drew very, very well. The Rogers Center was full, and we had pretty good tickets. And I'm looking here, like defensively, I believe Burton brought up Jaden McDonald, the linebacker. He's second on the team in tackles. He's got 36 tackles. Wow, he's got an interception, half a sack. Yeah, I mean he's got tackles for losses. He's playing really well. The guy I like is Tua, who's one of the linebackers. He's leading the team with 38 tackles. And then they got some DBs who are playing well. I was just trying to look at the turnover ratio for some of the team stats, what they're averaging. So I mean, they're scoring 39.6 points a game. They are first downs. They have 56 rushing first downs. They have 114 total first downs, 56 rushing, 44 passing. Third down efficiency is 40%, which is good. That's right, what you want. Fourth down efficiency, they're 3 of 7, which you'd like to see that higher. Passing's been good. I mean, they've been doing all right passing. The yards per game, you'd like to see a little more. 220 is a little low, but they're 220 a game, and they're averaging 244 rushing. So it's pretty balanced. I mean, it's a fairly balanced attack, which is good. I just don't know. Like with Temple, I didn't look at their defense, their defensive statistics. Offensively, they just look abysmal. Like,
Right.
I mean, 1,000 yards passing, 10 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, and 17 sacks overall they've given up. And they're only averaging 2.6 yards a carry rushing. They have 408 yards rushing. And then defensively, not much better defensively. They have a linebacker, DJ Woodbury has 48 tackles. Taekwon King has 38 tackles. But as far as turnovers go, Jesus, wow, one. They have 1 turnover on the year, Dave. One turnover. So that does not bode well. They're averaging 18.6 points a game. And I'm trying to look at their rushing. They're averaging 217 a game passing, and they're averaging 81 a game rushing. So
Right.
yeah, so that's just wow. That's not going to get it done. 17-point favorites.
Let's do your prediction.
That scares me.
Let's end it on your prediction. So
we're gonna win.
You were the big winner last week.
I was the big winner. Well, because I'm the best in the universe. But
you're the best host in the universe. As I said, well,
yes.
I don't know what it says below there. Pest podcast host. You're saying the same.
I had to put it twice. Yeah, I had to put it twice. Oh, I want to make sure everyone knows.
So let's go and say what you want me to go first. I guess I go first because I lost, right?
I'm going to be in the box eating shrimp. So yeah,
Yeah, you are. You're going to be in a box eating. Good for you.
I'm going to be eating shrimp cocktail. I
Is
can't wait
Mike
to see.
going to be there?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
he will. Okay,
yes, yes.
great.
We're tailgating. We're tailgating in the white lot. Anyone who's watching, we got a big tailgate planned.
Okay.
Yep.
Where is that on the landing strip?
I have no idea. I have no idea, but it's the best
I
parking.
still don't understand where everything is there.
Phil got mad at me for the white lot because he got me parking passes in the gold lot. And Mike sent me a parking pass for the white lot. I was like, I didn't know.
What's close? What's closer?
The white lot's the best parking you can get. So Phil got 6 passes for the gold lot, and I was going to give them to the volleyball players because the volleyball players wanted to come to the tailgate.
Sure.
And Courtney Williams is coming.
Oh, Courtney.
Courtney's going to drive to my hotel and ride over with me, and Tyler King is coming.
Right, I heard him say that earlier in the week.
Yeah. So I think we'll have a good crew. I just haven't tailgated in a while. I got to get the grill and little sausage, hot dogs.
Are you bringing stuff, or are you just gonna eat off?
No, I got to bring stuff. I got to bring.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
you do.
You got to bring stuff. Yeah. We'll get a grill. We got to get a grill going. Get some hot dogs, some sausage patties, some burgers, and the beverages will be provided by some of the other participants.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, will you have a tent or anything? Or
yeah, that's the other thing. I have to do that. Where would you get a tent?
Well, what do you
need?
I
just go to Walmart?
What do you just need? A 10x10 or something?
I want to get something.
Just a small one. Yeah, just go.
Yeah,
Walmart.
just go to Walmart. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I want to get a tent. They want to do a podcast from there. I was going to bring some of the podcast stuff.
You are. How do you connect? How would you connect it?
I can record it. I can't. Okay. I wouldn't use the computer and stream it unless they have Wi-Fi. I would have to bring a table and a setup for it. Like I'd have to bring a table and some chairs to kind of set it up. But I have the interface where I plug the wires in and the microphones where I can record it, and then I could post it. So what I was going to do is interview people, and then I can call you. I have the connection to call you. I would call you, and you could be on and go.
What time is the game?
It's a 3:30 game. We're gonna get there probably around 1:30. And yeah, the guy that's commenting is one of our friends, Greg Smoot. He's undercover. He's the moonwalker. He's the moonwalker. Yeah, Greg Smoot played with me. So cool. Yeah, so it should be fun. We're gonna tailgate. We're hopefully hang out with the volleyball girls and have some fun. Go to margaritas after, and party. So, and then Courtney will be there. Darby will be there. I don't know who else is going, but I haven't been to a game in 15 years. So,
wow. Oh, so have you been to a game since you left?
Yeah.
Early on, you went to some games, and then
I went. The last game I went to was it's been 20 years. Sorry. It was Syracuse. They played at Syracuse in 2006. I went to that.
I'm trying to think the last game that I went to. Oh, you know what? I went to when they played Villanova.
Recently? They played Villanova?
Let's see. Let me see when they played Villanova. I want to say it was like.
We played them when I was there in '99.
I think like 10 years ago, maybe.
Okay. They played. That's when Nova was flirting with joining the Big East before the Big East dissolved or whatever. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let me see.
Nova was always good.
Yeah, I think they're still pretty good for FCS. I think they're pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
On his-
They are.
Okay, it was 2000, maybe 2015 or
Okay.
16. Yeah, I think so. I think it was 2015. That's the last game I've been to. That was
And
9 years ago.
But you think you would be able to go to not the Wake Forest game, right?
I
Because
might
they have
be.
a bye this week, or I didn't know if it was Wake or the week after you would go.
When's the bye? Next week?
Yeah, the bye's next week, and you still have to come to Utica.
Right. So then there's the I guess I could depending on when my games are, if we
Yeah, because you said they play on
playoff,
Sunday.
it would be playoff time. I don't know how they're doing that, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then we got to get you to Utica. We got to get you to Utica, and we got to come up with a game plan with helping Mike Burton. If starting a YouTube channel is the way to go, how to monetize the podcasts and get them more donations. I'm doing the best I can, but there's got to be a more efficient way, and you're the business guy, so we'll just follow your lead.
Huh. Well, we'll figure that out. All right, prediction scores. Let me go first. I'm gonna say UConn 38 and Temple 17.
Okay. I am gonna go with 49-10.
Whoa, 39 margin. Biggest
Dude,
margin yet, Steve.
I'm just gonna keep going up. They're dominating. They're gonna shut them down, and we're gonna run the ball. We're gonna throw the ball, whether it's Fignano or Evers. We're gonna have our way. They average 2 yards a carry rushing. They give up sacks. Their quarterback play is horrible. I mean, we got to win. I think we have the momentum, and I think that the guys are going to have their juices flowing, playing at home. Let's go.
And you're on the 50-yard line watching it.
And I'm going to be eating the shrimp cocktail.
There's nothing better than that.
I'm going to be tailgating and eating shrimp cocktail. I got to get a 10.
That you can get pretty easily, I think.
Yeah. We're going to go. I'm going to go tent shopping after this.
Well, give us your clothes, man.
Well, thank you for being with us on Husky Huddle. Thank you to Sean Rabinowitz and Parseghian Partners. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them back at life.